So let's talk about creative growth and how it requires identity growth. If you ever feel like you're trying to grow your channel, your creativity, or your work, but something inside you is not growing at the same pace, and there's a reason for that. Creative growth requires identity growth. Welcome back to Creative Metaphysics. This is one of the deepest truths in creative work. And that is that your results cannot outgrow who you believe that you are. Your results cannot outgrow who you believe you are. You can improve your skills, you can improve your strategy, but if your identity stays the same, your results will hit a ceiling. And the interesting part is this: your identity is what sets that ceiling. Every creator is operating from a self-image. Who you think you are, what you think you can handle, what you believe you deserve. And that identity is what sets the limit. Not your talent, not your ideas, your identity. When you're trying to build something, you don't stop because you can't do more. You stop because a part of you doesn't see yourself as a person who does more. There was a point where I was doing everything right, creating, learning, showing up, but nothing moved past a certain level. And at the time, I thought, I need a better strategy. But when I really looked at it, I realized something deeper. I didn't see myself as someone operating at the next level. So even when I had a chance, I held back. Ask yourself this: where are you holding back? Even when you have the ability to move forward, and if you're honest, is it a skill problem or is it an identity problem? The truth is that you can't create beyond who you're willing to be. You can't create beyond the identity you're willing to step into. A small identity can't hold a big vision. And here's the really interesting part of this. It's not the vision is too big. It's that the version of you holding it hasn't expanded yet. Often we want more without becoming more. I remember wanting more visibility, more reach, more impact, but at the same time, I was still thinking like someone who wanted to stay comfortable. So there was a gap. I wanted growth, but I wasn't becoming a person who could handle that growth. And that gap kept me stuck. Now be honest. What do you say you want? And what version of you is actually showing up every day? And are those two aligned? Because growth feels like discomfort. When your identity starts to grow, it doesn't feel good at first. It feels like uncertainty or pressure, stretching, like being out of place. And that's because you are no longer fully the old version of you. But you're not fully the new version yet. And that space feels uncomfortable. Then the question becomes, do we read that feeling accurately or do we misread that feeling? There were moments where I felt that discomfort and I thought, something's off. But nothing was off. I was just growing. I was stepping into something I hadn't been before, and my system didn't recognize it yet. So ask yourself, what are you feeling right now that you've been labeling as wrong? That might actually just be growth. Every big moment in your creative journey is actually an identity moment. Your first post your first time being vulnerable, your first time or your first bit of real traction, your first criticism. Those aren't just actions, they're shifts in who you are. The content is what people see. The identity shift is what actually changes your life. Think about this question. If you have changed how you see yourself, what moment changed how you see yourself? Because that moment is where your growth actually started. And if you don't have a moment at which you changed how you see yourself, then there's a good chance that that growth hasn't started yet. And if you're starting to realize that this is deeper than just content, that is really about what's happening inside of you, this is exactly why I created the Creator's First Shift. Helps break down the identity patterns that hold you back, the beliefs behind those patterns, and how to start shifting into the version of you who can actually move forward. It's not just something you read. It walks you through the process so you can see it clearly and change how you show up. The link is in the description. It costs about the same as a cup of coffee, but the shift that it creates and how you see yourself, that changes everything. If you want more, you have to become more. More grounded, more confident, more stable, more willing to listen. Because success is not just about getting more. It's about being able to handle more without collapsing underneath it. Ask yourself, if everything you want showed up today, could you actually hold it? Or would it overwhelm you? And that answer matters. You see, you don't wait to become that person. You start now. Ask, who is the version of me that already lives the life that I want? And then pick one trait: confidence, consistency, boldness, calm, and act. Act from that. Identity doesn't change in one big moment. It changes in small decisions repeated over and over again over time. Ask yourself this: what is one way I can show up today as the version of me that I'm becoming? Then do that. Remember, creative growth is not just about doing more, it's about becoming more. And when your identity expands, your creativity expands, your confidence stabilizes, your results grow. Not because you forced it, but because you became the person who can hold it. And that's the shift.